Campbell, tell me about the importance of your family in your political life moving forward. Your wife Lisa has been very supportive. I dare say she's had a great deal of influence in your decision to take you on your current path. Would that be correct?
Oh look, she's been incredibly supportive, and the thing I always say is I couldn't do this without the support of Lisa and the kids, because you have to put 100% effort into it, and if you don't have someone backing you up, you just couldn't do it. And emotionally, it's difficult, it's tough, so you need a shoulder to cry on as well, and she has to cop a bit of that from me. So she's terrific.
Where'd you meet your wife?
Oh, I met my wife in the Enoggera Army Barracks, which is in the Ashgrove electorate. Yep. We met in a group with a group of sort of army guys and nurses who were going to the Ekka. So it was actually turned out it was her birthday that night, and we went out to the Ekka and then off to the old underground. I don't know if you remember where that was, on Caxton Street. The older viewers will remember where it was. It's all been knocked down since, but that's where we met.
What was your first impression of her?
Oh, gee, I just thought, she's a good sort. It's a long time ago. I just remember being taken by her looks, of course, but also just her wonderful personality. She's a very caring person.
Yeah. We are getting towards the end of the program. You've obviously been working hard and dealing with some flu issues. There's no opportunity for you to take a bit of time off to allow your throat to rest, is there?
It's pretty tough. You just got to keep going. I'm afraid that's just the nature of the business that I'm in, and there are a lot of people relying on me to be there at certain times and to deliver, and you've just got to try and make sure you do deliver. You don't let people down. You
have like a doctor on call, or a medical staff, or a nurse helping you out, making sure you're staying healthy and you're looking after yourself?
No. I just try and be pretty healthy. I think I always try and eat well, and I do try and my staff would tell you that I always try and get to bed early, because I do get up early and have the sort of day we were describing before.
In bed by 10:30, out again
absolutely.
by 5?
Yeah, you got to do that sort of stuff. Yeah, you can't burn the candle at both ends. For sure.
What do you do for enjoyment? Is there time out for Campbell Newman for rest and relaxation, for music, for sport? I think one of those things that drives a lot of people to get into politics is to put back into their community. Can you actually find time to actually be out in your community, just enjoying yourself, spending time with your family?
Probably not. You're out and about being involved with community activities. So you might be going to a PNC or a PNF or a history group, or an environmental group meeting or whatever. So you're doing those sorts of things. So you clearly got an involvement in the community. But in terms of your own personal time, when I've got time off, which is pretty rare, pretty precious, I spend time with Lisa and the girls doing something with them. So it might be going to a movie, doing something around the home. I like to sort of potter around the garden. I haven't done a lot of that lately. The other thing is I'm a bit of a geek. I like mucking around with old computers. Oh, yeah. And the other thing I'm interested in is history. So I've got a lot of history books and quite old sort of manuscripts and things like that I've collected. And I also do a lot of genealogical research into my own family tree and the like, which is very absorbing. I warn people, if you get into it, it's quite addictive. It's hard to stop. Yeah, you can put a lot of time into it.
Proud of your family history?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, my forebear was a bloke by the name of Herman Newman, who came to Sydney in 1854.
Yeah, right.
So what I've established is he came in on a ship, which is a Dutch ship. He was the cook. Interestingly, 8 weeks after they arrived, in May 1854, he married one of the passengers. So that's how the Newmans came to Australia. So I haven't been able to sort of crack behind that, find out what's behind that. Where did he? I think he came from Hanover in Germany.
Yeah, okay.
I think she came from Dublin, but I really haven't been able to find authoritative evidence behind that, if you like, or earlier than that.
It's an interesting journey trying to go back over the ages and try and track down that history, isn't it?
Sure is. Yeah. It's amazing stuff, and there's just fantastic resources these days on the internet. There's all sorts of things that can help you out there these days. Yeah. But it gets really tricky when you're trying to go prior to about 1820. That's where it gets really tough. So I've gone back almost 200 years down a few branches of the family history.
Okay, it's something that you can engage yourself in forever, I think, the further back you go.
It is, because the further back you go, the more that it branches out.
Yeah.
So the more leads you have to follow.
Yeah. What about music? You listen to music?
I listen to music. I've lots of music, but it's just one of those things. Just part of life is the way. I don't play an instrument. I wish I did. I wish I could sing. I can't even talk at the moment. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, out there watching footy, going to sport.
I'll go to games and things like that. I enjoy watching a game of rugby league or rugby union or Aussie rules. As I've sort of declared in the past, don't know much about the games really per se, but I just enjoy watching the contest and enjoy the atmosphere.
A couple of young daughters. How does your life in politics fit into their life?
Well, that's probably the sad thing. That's the tough thing, in that they're growing up and they're living their own lives, and I try to get to the things that are important in their lives. So, for example, they've been heavily involved in ballet in the Ashgrove Dance Studio for many years. Yep. So since 1996. So Lisa and I, every year they have a big concert. Lisa's a volunteer, helping the families and the kids who are involved. So we've been really supporting our kids through that over the years. We've got one daughter who's going through uni, another one who's in year 11. So we're just sort of trying to make sure that they get through those studies okay.
Interesting transitional period for the Newman family.
Yeah, well, I think it's difficult for them, because we've got so much on our plate that often they've got to sort of do their own thing.
I know you're probably not even considering not winning. Is there a timeline? Have you got an alternative track that you have in the back of your mind about where you might end up in 5-10 years' time if you don't end up the Premier of Queensland?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that I'm really interested in, have been for many years, is green energy or alternative energy. Yeah. So if you ask me right here now today, what would you like to be involved in? If you actually could, I'd like to be involved in solar, geothermal, wind power production. So maybe some sort of start-up company making this sort of happen. I'm very, very passionate about it. I find it absolutely fascinating. I mean, we've had solar panels at our place for about 4.5 years now. I enjoy seeing the meter tick over and seeing the energy we're generating, but I'd like to be involved in that and some of these new cutting-edge technologies that are now on the table.
Yeah. And you live locally in the sort of northwestern suburbs in and around Ashgrove?
Yeah, I live in the northern suburbs. Yeah, I don't live quite in the electorate.
Yeah. We
lived there for 10 years. And the only reason we moved out of the actual suburb of Ashgrove was to be near to Lisa's parents' place, because we're both working, so we could have childcare. But we're heavily involved in the electorate every day of the week, really. Lots of friends there, relatives there. As you heard before, I met Lisa there. We got married there. We christened Rebecca there. We're there all the time. So it's our community.
Campbell Newman, thank you very much for taking the time. It's been enjoyable to have a chance to get to know you. Good luck in the election coming up, whenever that may be. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Shaun.
You've been watching Meet the Ministers. I'm Shaun Bindley, and I look forward to joining you again next week.